Alright, hello there ladies and gentlemen, Trap here, coming at you with a series from the Pro League. Yes, I'm doing some Brood War vids. Apologies for not doing the Brood War vids before. I will explain why a little bit in the second game. I know this because I've already casted the second game. Yeah, this is, I'm going to be doing the series here. This is Entus, changed their name, versus Wunjin Stars, and Entus is being represented by Snow, who was on CJ before CJ and Sparky's merged, and Free, the heavy hitter from the Hanbit Stars from way back in the day. He's been on the Stars for a long time through their various sponsored names. Anyway, this is going to be a very good series. I can feel it. I actually know it because, like I said, I've already casted the second game, and I actually casted the third game already, except it didn't record, and I've already watched this first game. It's a long story, but in Protoss versus Protoss, the first 5 minutes nothing happens anyway, so I can tell you the long story. Once upon a time, Trap decided to watch some videos while he was eating lunch. He sat down at his computer and looked at the Navake account and said, "Hey, look! Free versus Snow, that might be interesting. Maybe I should cast some games today. Aha! I will cast the games," Trap said to himself, with a glimmer in his eye. "I will cast the games that I see with Zero in them. In fact, I might as well cast the entire series of Zero's team." Trap, however, missed one fatally important detail when he was deciding what game to watch while he ate lunch. He missed the fact that Free vs. Snow was actually part of that same series as the Zero game that he wanted to cast. So he watched it while he was eating lunch, and now he's recasting it even though he's seen it before. The end. Actually, it's only the beginning. So I have seen this game before. I very rarely cast games that I've seen before, but I think it's going to be okay. The reason I started commentating in the first place years ago was because I would watch games and I would be thinking in my head what I would be saying if I was commentating anyway, and so and years of commentating has not diminished that habit at all. So point being, I kind of was thinking about what I would say anyways while I was watching it, and so now I'll kind of be able to just say it. So I'm not gonna you know, try and make predictions very much other than the predictions that I made the first time around, because I know what happens. Anyway, PvP, like I said before, you usually don't see much variation until you get something out to kill that scouting probe, and then you see whether they're gonna go for robotics or extra gateways or whatever, and then we'll see what happens. In case I didn't mention it, Free is actually the orangish Protoss in the right hand side of the map, and Snow is the red Protoss on the bottom of the map. So there you go. I actually already casted the third game of this series as well, and it didn't record, so when I get to next, I'm gonna have to cast that third game again, and again I'll have to do the same thing. And I casted the second game first because, again, I didn't realize it was part of the series I wanted to cast, so I'm actually gonna upload these in order. So next game, it's going to sound very funny because I'm going to start off talking about how I'm going to cast some Brood War games, and you've probably already watched this one from that series. And anyway, so just ignore all the stuff from that game about it being first and it being a solo game, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to cast this solo game, and then I'm going to cast the series later. I didn't realize it was actually game 2 of this series that I wanted to cast. So now we see the strategy revealed that Free is going to bestow upon us. Free is going for a 4-gate rush. This is a very all-in strategy. When you have 4 gateways, you just produce buttloads of units. You cut probes. You're not producing any probes, so you're not investing in a possible expansion, and you just build tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of usually dragoons, and just try and overpower your opponent before they can get any tech units out. Now we do have a robotics facility down for Snow. If he can get Reavers out, then basically if he can hold out until there's Reavers, then he'll be in okay shape. Still in danger though, because Reavers aren't, you know, automatically going to save him. But That's the timing attack, basically. You want to go for the 4 gate, is you want to try and get as many units as possible and attack just before they get the Reavers. When they've been only building up troops off of 2 gateways, in this case only 1 now, and just getting a 2nd up right now. And there's the observatory first as well, so he's not even going to be able to get Reavers out. He's probably going for, he might be going for observers first. Hopefully he at least gets a shuttle while all of his buildings are warping, and so he'll have a shuttle for his Reavers. Anyway, he could be in trouble here. A lot of units mounting up. Currently they have about the same army because Free hasn't been able to make use of those gateways just yet, but now he's moving in here, pushing him with 3 Dragoons and 2 Zealots, and Snow is actually falling back despite having a superior force there. He may suspect what's going on here because of this pressure right now, putting down more pylons just to make sure he has enough supply to put out each round of units that he's going to be putting out with those 4 gateways. He has Observer out now. He's running his Observer out. He sees that army. He's going to immediately head it up towards Free's base so that he can see what Free is doing as well. He sees another round of Dragoons approaching. He must know exactly what's going on at this point. Well, not exactly, but he must know pretty much what's going on. The robotics support bay is he's bringing probes off the line. He knows he's outnumbered right now. He's bringing probes off. Probe micro is going to be crucial here. He could lose the game very quickly with this number of more Dragoons. Probes sacrificing themselves to draw some oh, he actually surrounds some of the Dragoons. Glitches those Dragoons. Glitches the A of the Dragoons. Very nicely done. Moving in, kills a Dragoon. Nicely done. He's losing probes though, and that is the thing here. As soon as he's going to run out of probes, running and sniping a Dragoon. Free is doing a pretty good job of micro here, but not good enough. He's running in, and he's actually letting his front Dragoons get hit. Look at this. Oh, see right there. All 6 of Snow's Dragoons were firing when only 3 of Free's Dragoons were firing, and there Free trying to bust in again. Oh, and the Reaver is out. As soon as he gets a Scarab, Free is going to be forced back here. Free is forced back. He's having to fall back to the other side of that choke point and set up a defensive position there. Wow. So Snow, just by virtue of Free's bad micro, holds his choke point. I think Free, basically, I mean, if he'd gone for the kill, Free is kind of a timid player a lot of the time. He didn't go all the way in and micro his Dragoons all the way in. He kind of micro in a little bit and get a couple hits off, and he'd go to that point that, you know, you have to move through that point a little bit where is Free he's gonna try and snipe that. I don't know what he's trying to do right now. Anyway, you have to go through that point, through that choke where you're getting list hits off. Here he's going for the Dragoon, for the Reaver. Oh, beautiful move! Wow, he had his Dragoons on the top, set up on the other side of that ridge, and the Reaver was up in the north part of the ridge, and here he's going in, trying to squeeze through that choke again, doing it kind of half-heartedly. There he goes, finally moving in. Now he's going to fall back again. In the meantime, all those Dragoons of Snow's getting tons of hits, loses a couple probes, but another Reaver's in play, and so that's going to, again, make things well in Snow's favor as far as this army composition. But yeah, when you're forcing your way through that choke, there's a point where the enemy gets more hits off. But if you keep moving through, and you squeeze your Dragoons through to their side, you can break them. And Free keeps, like, you know, pussyfooting in a little bit, and then running away, and never breaks through that point where he actually has a dominant attack ability, where he has more of his Dragoons firing. He's just too timid for his own good, and he's always been that way. Very good player, but not ballsy enough, basically, and that's what he got. He gets a lot of his losses from lack of ballsiness. Watch out for that Reaver! It could get sniped again. Runs in. Oh, Dragoons moving forward a little bit. Do manage to force Free's Dragoons back. He can't snipe that Reaver again. No shuttle out at this point though, and he's probably going to go for a second Reaver before shuttle. In the meantime, Free has actually gotten his own robotics facility up, a little fighting over the ridge here. Free doing some beautiful micro there, actually, doing some really good micro, taking out a Dragoon when not losing any of his own. That observer is in the air, so that was really difficult from the micro that, actually. I'm not sure if he even had vision other than that Dragoon attacking. Anyway, Free has a shuttle out. I'm not sure if he has he must have there's the robotics support bay, yeah. So Free is actually going to have a shuttle and a Reaver here pretty soon, in addition to having, I think, another Dragoon or 2 extra over what Snow has an extra Reaver. He has less Dragoons but an extra Reaver. And here we're seeing Snow's first-person view. He's sending his observer over to see if Free is deciding to switch over to an expansion or not. Because that's something you might do once you realize that 4-gate all-in is not going to work. You might just get an expansion up and use your map control to hold them in their base and get an econ advantage over time like that. Instead, Free has actually fallen back. He knows he's going to get forced back by those Reavers anyway, so he's fallen back outside of the natural expansion choke of Snow. He's still mounting a lot of forces. Here comes a Reaver in. Oh, the Reaver. Oh, if he can get some probe kills, he can really. Oh, why did the Scarab not shoot? The Scarab did not shoot, and Free picks up his Reaver and runs away instead of waiting that extra moment, mere moment that it would have taken for that Scarab to go off. Here he's going to try and go in and get another attack. Snow, if he knows what's good for him, has some Dragoons in the back of his base though. Which apparently he doesn't know what's good for him. So Free's gonna get in here, get a shot off. He attacks. Oh, and Snow. Oh, the Scarab gets caught up on those minerals briefly. Snow very nicely only running the probes that were likely targeted by the Scarab instead of running all of them. Doesn't lose a lot of mining time. Wow, and saves all of his probes to boot. This is working out beautifully for Snow. He is really in a good position right now and getting an expansion up. He's got Reavers and Dragoons to protect his natural, and he's got a few Dragoons in the back to protect his main base from drops as well. Free is going to go ahead and get a second Reaver in that shuttle. He didn't lose his first, and that's the good thing at least about him playing conservatively, is he didn't lose anything. So he still has his whole army. He can still use it in a main battle or something like that. But Free is not choosing to expand. Free is just going to go in for one attack, probably one more big attack, and try and break Snow with superior forces again, pumping out of 4 gateways and a robotic facility now as well. Here he comes in. This is going to be it. It's going to come down to Micro. He needs to break this, otherwise he's going to have an expansion and Snow's going to have too much. Puts his Reavers in range of those Dragoons from above. He's got to bring them back. He brings them back a little bit, but they're still within range. A lot of Free's Dragoons going down to Scarab fire, and Free not getting his own Scarab hits off very well at all and attacking all the way around the bend, not doing nearly as much splash as they needed to. Free loses the battle, and he's even going to lose his shuttle and his Reaver, and Free is in horrible shape right now. Wow, I mean, at the very least, if he'd had that Reaver and shuttle, he could have run it around the back and tried to kill some probes, get back into the game a little bit, but this is looking horrible for Free. Not a ton of probes there for Snow. He's actually not going to be very fully saturated at all at either of his bases. He must have cut a lot of probes in order to make sure he got enough forces out. But Snow is counterattacking. He knows he has the advantage with those 2 Reavers. Those 2 Reavers are worth their weight in gold right now because they give him a huge tech advantage. He can just micro those Reavers to victory at this point. Just, you know, Scarabs can just own those Dragoons. He needs to be careful they don't get sniped a little bit. He's moving out a little bit. He needs to be very, very ginger about approaching that, because he could, as soon as Free realizes those are there, he might run in and snipe them. And oh, is Free gonna snipe them? He's got enough Dragoons to snipe the shuttle real quick. One volley, I think, is all it would take. Instead, he's gonna, again, just be a little bit too timid and run around the back. Now he's moving in. Not enough Dragoons. Where's his reinforcements? A couple Dragoons coming in from above rather, but it's not going to be enough. We're going to see GG any moment now coming from Free, and he's still got that Reaver and everything. GG coming from Pretty GM, aka Free of the Woonjin Stars. So Free goes for an all-in attack basically with that 4-gate, and Snow just held it off, used that very small choke. Actually, it's a little bit surprising that he did that attack on this map. Very small choke point to hold. Once he got the Reavers out, he did pretty well. Free did an okay job of microing against that Reaver. That was a brilliant move, sniping that Reaver over the wall, but he didn't really micro that well for the rest of the time, so cost him the game. So Free goes down in this match rather, sorry, and so Entus is actually going to go up 1-0 in this series. And yeah, so like I said, I already casted game 2. So I'm just going to say, let's move on to game 2, and again, ignore all the stuff about how it being a game on its own and all that, but do not ignore the very important fact that it's Diggity's birthday, which I'm going to talk about in the next game as if it was brand new and you hadn't heard about it. Oh, dearie, dearie, dear. I wasn't going to let all these technical issues with things not getting recorded stop me from doing this set. It's just been too long. I need to do some casts, so... anyway, hope you guys enjoy this. Thanks very much for watching. Game 2 coming right up. GG.